Shalom, everybody. Welcome. Hello, all of you. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the challenge where Sister Mikhail is going to be actually doing the video on her own. The same thing that her twin sister did some time ago. We taught her how to pressure can, and then she came back and did it by herself. Same thing today, only she won't be doing the pickle. She's actually going to be making hot sauce. We're doing something else with all those cucumbers, and that may be in a future video down the road. But nevertheless, canning is canning. So water bath canning is water bath canning no matter what the process is. All the processes is the same. So she's going to do this on her own. I'm going to also step away, and let her have at it. And then we'll come back at the end and see how things are going. So, Mikhail, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you nervous about anything?
Well, I've done it before, so I think I can do it.
Okay, if you were to do this at home, Mom said, Mikhail, go in there and do that, whatever. You gonna be okay with it? Cause it's easy, right? We gotta get you to pressure canning though. We still gotta get you, we still gotta get you to do some pressure canning. But nevertheless, here we go. So Mikhail, you take it away.
Okay, right now we're going to prep the red chilies and the jalapenos for the hot sauce. So we're just going to cut the tops off and cut it in half. There's no need to seed them since it's hot sauce. Now I've finished chopping up all my red chilies. I've cut some of them in half this way, and I did the rest like this. I cut these up to show you that there's two ways to do it, but to save time, this is the quickest way to just cut the stem off and do it in half. I'm also going to be chopping up some jalapenos for like a green sauce. I'll just have my green here, and I'm also going to chop up a red bell pepper and a red green pepper just for some flavor for the hot sauce. Now that I've finished preparing the peppers, I'm just going to add some chopped onions, some peeled garlic, and I've decided to add some fire roasted tomatoes, just for my red sauce. I'm also going to be adding some cayenne pepper and some sugar. So now I'm going to get started on my red hot sauce. And in my pot now, I'm just going to add my fire roasted tomatoes. And this isn't a full bulb of garlic, but it's just maybe about a few pieces just for the flavor. Next, we're adding a fourth of a cup of sugar, and this is just to start off with, like our base. But if we need more sugar as we taste it, we can add more. And we're just going in with a teaspoon of salt. And now for the vinegar, we're not using a specific measurement. It depends on how big your pot is. We're just going up to a little bit over the peppers. And so now we're going to move on to our green sauce. We're going to be adding some cayenne pepper just to add an extra kick. But since red chilies are hotter than jalapenos, we're going to be adding less than we do for the red. So we're only going to be adding a tablespoon for the red chilies and a tablespoon and a half for the jalapenos. We're going to bring our peppers to a boil. We're just going to turn it on high heat, and after 15 minutes we're going to check and see if it's soft enough for me to emulsify them. But if not, we're just going to let it go. We let it boil until it's soft enough. So they boiled for about, I would say about 30 minutes. And we're going to see the softness. So see how the fork easily goes through? So that they're ready to be emulsified. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let these cool a little bit. So that way when we emulsify them and they splatter, it won't burn us. And we're just going to check the chili powders, the chili peppers. See how easy it goes through? So these are ready. And we're just going to leave the tops off so they can cook. Excuse our background, there's people cooking with stuff. So our chili and our jalapenos have cooled, so now we're just getting ready to emulsify. So I had to get a quick tutorial on how to use the emulsifier. So this is what it looks like. You can do it as thick or as thin as you like. There's still some pieces, so we'll just emulsify that some more to get all the big chunks out of there. So now that our peppers have been emulsified and they have cooled a bit, it's time for us to can them. So our lids, have you seen our earlier clip, our lids have been sanitized just by boiling them in some hot water. You can sanitize them by washing them or running them through a dishwasher. Of headspace needs to be left in the jars. So a perfect way to, determine that is to just fill them up to the neck. And so I've done that here, and there's enough space for when we seal. So now it's time to debubble our hot sauce. So we debubble to get any of the extra air that is caught in the jars. And in case we need to add some more liquid, that's why we debubble. That makes sense. So now that all of our jars have been debubbled, it's time to rub the rims of the jars with vinegar. And when canning, it's important to make sure there isn't anything on the rims of the jars, or else that would prevent the jars from getting a tight seal. So we just take some vinegar on a paper towel and we rub it around the rims of the jars to remove any extra seasonings or grease or oils or anything that may be on there. This is not a necessary step for everything you can, but it's definitely necessary when you can meats. And it's just a good practice to do when you can in general. That way you can get into the habit of doing it. So since our water is hot, but it's actually cool now, we have this tool here so we can take the lids out without burning our hands. So now that all of our lids have been placed on, it's time to add the rings to the lids. So we're gonna put it on there, but just make sure you do it finger tight. You don't wanna screw too tightly, but just enough. So now it's time for us to add our jars to our water bath container. And make sure when you're putting the jars in there not to let them touch the wall of the pot. The reason being is because if the jars get too hot, they can explode. So you have to make sure that there's water covering the jars. So if need be, you can always add more water. And that's what we're about to do here. So now we're just going to use the rest of that vinegar that we used for the rims of the jars. And this is just to make sure that the jars don't cloud. So now we're going to put the top on it and we're going to let that come to a boil. And then when it starts boiling, we start our timer for 15 minutes. Make sure your burner is on high. Now that our water started to boil, it's time to set our 15-minute timer. And so our 15-minute timer has ended. And now we're just going to let our jars cool for a bit, and then we're going to take them out and see if they're sealed properly.
We are at the end of this video to where we have now canned all of the hot sauce. We did really, really good. And actually, we did the taste test. And I'm just going to tell y'all straight up, it's really, really amazing. I was quite shocked because this is my first time actually making hot sauce. I had so many peppers in the garden. I'm like, what to do with all this? So what a beautiful thing to do. What do you think about this experience?
It's actually fun. I love watermelon candy. I see what you mean when you was talking about earlier, well, in the past video, how soothing it is. And I actually can see what you mean by that.
It actually is. It's therapeutic for me. I know it's a little bit of work, but you get into a groove. It is very, very therapeutic. So I'm glad you feel that way. That's good. So we were able to get what? 4, I don't know what size these are. Half pints, I think. I think these are like a half a pint. 4 of those, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pints, and then 1 quart. That's quite a bit of hot sauce. I'm going to take this one with me when I go to an event in October. Just saying. So you all can share this with me for those who would like to try it. But in any event, we're excited about it. I'm excited about it. We have jalapenos, as we said, and then that red sauce. They both have distinctly different flavors. You agree?
Yeah, I do.
I think they have distinct flavor, but they're both hot and they're both good. And now that you have completely done this on your own, you're going to be doing it at home. I heard your mom say she found her canning pot. So
Yes.
this is what it's all about. Teaching, training, so they can move forward and do this on their own. I'm excited. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. You all give them some love, show them some love, go to their channels and subscribe. Again, subscribe and do all the things that we talk about. Hit the like button, all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next video. Until then, have a good evening.
Shalom.
Oh, wait.
Redo.
Keep going.
Okay. What's there about to do here?
Okay, try and not pour it on top of the lid. My dress has been going through it today. Fooling with you.
Wait, stop making me laugh.
Hot sauce and water.
Okay. So now we're going to use the rest of that vinegar that we used earlier for. So now we're just going to use the rest of that vinegar that we used for the rims of the jar.